Hey everybody, welcome back to the Queens Lair. I am your host, Kellie Miles, and today's episode is called Unbridled Perseverance. And I'm not only excited, but I am super proud of our guest today, despite all of the challenges brought on by COVID-19 and all of the heart-wrenching violence that's going on in Philly right now. These young people have managed to balance all of that while in school and running a business. So let's bring on our young entrepreneurs. Hey, hi everyone. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. So
Good.
good. I'm glad to hear that. So we have Sanyah and Hamza. And so Sanyah and Hamza, just tell us a little bit about where you're from and what the name of your business is.
So my name is Sanyah, and this is my brother Hamza. We're both from North Philly. Our business is called Sweet and Spicy, where my brother bakes, and I cook food, mainly spicy foods, which is where we got the name Sweet and Spicy from.
Nice. I like that. So now let's go to you, Elias. Tell us where you're from and a little bit about your business.
To tell you a little bit about my business and where I'm from North Philly also. To tell you a little bit about my business, I have my own vending machine business, and I also have my own book where it tells a little bit about what I went through in my life and how I cope with that.
So what's the name of your vending machine business and what's the name of your book?
The name of my book is Am I Ready? And the name of my vending machine business is FL Vending for Future Leader Vending.
Nice, nice. Okay, so we have a copy of your book cover, and the name of the book is Am I Ready? As he has stated, and this book is to encourage kids like him that we are enough and that we are ready for whatever life throws at us. So thank you so much for, joining all of you. Just thank you so much for jumping on and coming in today. So I want to know a little bit about what inspired you to do the businesses that you're in. So Elias, we just showed your book. So let's start with you and tell us about what inspired you to write your book and what inspired you to get into your vending machine business.
So the thing that inspired me to write my book was my mom, because she told me anything I put my mind to, I can do. So I followed that, and I wanted to put my story out there because I've noticed a lot of people have lost loved ones and gone through tragedies and a whole bunch of other stuff. And the thing that inspired me to start my vending machine business was I travel a lot, so I've noticed that there's broken down vending machines and people want vending machines but can't afford them. So I supply them and place them for free, and then we go every weekend or every week whenever they want it refilled, or we can sell it to them and then they can refill it themselves.
Nice. So you kind of can fill it for them and you can, have them fill it themselves. That's good to have options. People like options. And I have to say, your mama got some wise words. Yes, you can do anything that you want if you put your mind to it. So that is great words to live by. So let's go to you, Hamza and Sanyah. Tell me what inspired you guys. We'll start with you, Hamza. What inspired you to get into the baking business?
So I started off just with just me and my mom baking cakes like regularly, because personally I'm a big cake fan. So me and my mom started.
Me too.
Me and my mom decided to make cakes on the regular, and then eventually one of my neighbors came over and tried one of my cakes and said that they were really good. So from that point on, I started to make more cakes, and then I started to sell them. And then from there, I just started to make cakes like every weekend for people, and then just selling them.
Nice. And I have to tell you, I am a big cake fan too. I love cakes. What's your favorite cake?
Probably I like different types of pound cakes, but I like Oreo cheesecake.
Really? That's nice. My son actually likes Oreo cheesecake, and I love pound cakes, and I love vanilla cake too. That's and strawberry shortcake. I just like cake, so I like them all. So that's great. That's wonderful. So let's go to you, Sanyah. So tell us, what got you into cooking?
So I will always like go to the Chinese store, and one of my favorite things to get from there was cheesesteak rolls. And I don't know, one day I just remember thinking like I could make this myself and add my own flavors and make it taste 10 times better. And I know my mom is always telling me like, I should go and start a business and get something good for myself while I'm still young. And one day I tried to make my own buffalo rolls, and I gave them to a couple of my family members at a party. And they were like, "Oh my God, this is so good. You need to start selling it." And then my mom just promoted it for me, and I've been doing good with it so far.
Oh, that is wonderful. Yes. And tell me what those wise words were that your mom told you again.
That I need to start a business and get something going for myself while I'm still young.
And I love that. That's why I wanted to say it again, because I feel like so many of our children are being raised to go to school to get a job rather than going to learn and get educated on how to start your own business and run businesses. And in our community, we need more young people like you all to get out there and start making things happen and running your own business. So let me ask, what are some challenges that you faced during the 2020 pandemic? And we'll start with you, Elias. Tell us what some of those challenges were and how you managed to balance school and running a business during the midst of a pandemic.
So to start off, being able to manage during the pandemic, it wasn't really as hard if you really ask me. I just I set calendar events and timers to manage all of my stuff. Like let's say a notification pops up on my phone, homework, then after I can go through all my emails, all my DMs, see what people really want and need. And with the pandemic, since everything was at home basically, it wasn't as
Mm-hmm.
hard to manage, but now it does get a little harder with it does get a little harder. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that the demand for your business supplies was affected because of the pandemic? Like, did people actually still have a need? Because you mentioned the need, and people have to have a need in order to go to the business. Did you find that it was impacted by the pandemic with your business?
A little bit, yes,
Okay.
because people have lost loved ones during the pandemic, and I know a lot of people like reading. I do like reading a lot, so people buy my book and then they really enjoy it.
And that's something great to do when you're stuck in house after a pandemic is just read and fill your brains with knowledge. So that's great. So let's go to you, Sanyah and Hamza. So what were some of the challenges that you guys faced when it came to your businesses and dealing with the pandemic?
So personally, once like the pandemic started to start, like our business orders started to drop down. But like our mom like always like kept us motivated, saying don't quit, keep going. And then she also went out of her way to help advertise our business to all of our friends and family.
That's great. What about you, Sanyah? Did you have anything to add to that?
One of the hardest parts of the pandemic for me was, I would just say, adjusting to it, because when it first started, it was only supposed to be 2 weeks, and I
Right.
more so used them as a break. And when I heard that it's gonna be for months and it's now been like a year, more than a year, I I had to tell myself like this is the time where people are sitting home and they might not want to cook, and my mom was telling me the same thing, and she told me, cook this week, don't sit around this week, since it's quarantine, all you want to do is sit around. But she was telling me, cook this week, you gotta order this week, and that's what I just been doing.
And that's great. You guys have some amazing moms with some great advice. So make sure you always hold dear to that, because that advice is going to take you far in life, period. Not just now as children, but it's going to take you far. So make sure you listen to that, because y'all have great moms. And I think that's a great thing, is you can't give up. Because one thing that I tell my kids is tough times don't last forever, but tough people do. And if you can push through those tough times, you'll get through to the breakthrough at the end. So that is absolutely amazing. So tell me, what was your motivation that kept you pushing? That those words that your mom gave you, what happened within you that kept you pushing and not hearing her and just throwing it to the side, like whatever? And then I'll ask you the same question, Elias. So what kept you motivated and kept you pushing through those tough times?
Personally, I kind of like thought to myself with my mother's words, but she would also like tell us like get your own business. You don't want to like live your full life working for somebody else. So I took that deeply and was like, I really want to be able to have my own business so that I don't have to work for nobody else. And like the bonuses with working for you, like having your own business and having people work for you, is that you get your own time and you get to make your decisions and how you want to spend your time.
And can I ask how old you are?
I'm 12.
Hamza, you are just so knowledgeable at 12. The wisdom that I'm hearing from you guys is amazing. Did you hear that, y'all? These kids are 12. And how old are you tonight?
I'm 15.
15. You have 12 and 15-year-olds that are spitting wisdom to y'all right now. So y'all better listen. So now tell me a little bit about you, Sanyah. What helped you to stay focused, hearing what your mom said, and not just taking it and throwing it out and saying, I can't do this anymore? What motivated you to keep pushing?
What motivated me was the same exact thing Hamza said. Having my own business, and with the amount of orders I was getting, I was like, wow, like people are really liking it, and this is something I can do on my own time, and I could do it for the rest of my life, and it's not difficult to do once you get the hang of it.
That's beautiful. Yes. And just hold on to those words, because it's just amazing. And I think it makes a big difference when you have your own, because not only does it help you to be able to establish your own level of income, but it also helps you to build and develop leadership skills that also help to maintain relationships, because being a leader is not just delegating and managing processes, but it's also helping your other fellow brothers and sisters to grow and become leaders as well. So these are great things that I'm hearing from you guys. So let's go to you, Elias. So tell me, how did you cope with and what motivated you to keep you pushing through those tough times, in spite of the fact that your mom gave you those words of wisdom that you held onto, but there had to be something inside of you to take hold to those words and keep pushing. So what was it for you, Elias?
To be completely honest, the same thing that Hamza and Sanyah said, but to add on to that, just the name of my business, it really gives me power over everything that I put my mind to. And just the thought of working a 9 to 5 job, coming home tired, or even working from home remotely, is really tiring. Trust me, it really is. So I just took it upon myself to start my own business.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And so it sounds to me like each of you have found the value in having your business, and notice that in order for you to keep the business, you're going to come up against some hard times. And when those hard times come, you have to persevere. You have to persevere through it. You have to have unbridled perseverance. And that's exactly what this show and this episode is all about, is that unbridled perseverance that you guys have displayed, and that it's a great, amazing thing, an accomplishment that you guys have done. So let me ask you guys a little bit about school. So how did you guys manage school when you were dealing with the business? And, how did you balance? I know you, Elias, said that you made calendar entries and tried to go through that. But what happened in times when you were struggling? And, share with us some moments where you guys actually struggled and you almost felt like you were ready to give up and and throw in the towel, because everybody has those moments. So tell us about that moment when you guys felt like you were ready to just throw in the towel. We'll start with you, Sanyah.
Um, the hardest part with trying to keep up with school for me was doing it at home, because when you're at home, you can lay in the bed and that's not really motivating you to get up, and having that bed there is not really motivating you to go get up and do your schoolwork. But I knew that I want to go to a good college and I can't have bad grades and try to go to a good college. So I knew that I have to keep up with all the work, even though it's going to be harder for me because I don't have the motivation I had when I was waking up every day that I do now, thankfully. But I knew I just had to keep it up, or high school and graduating wasn't going to go the way I wanted it to go.
And that's beautiful because, just like Elias said, going back and forth to a 9 to 5 job is tough. And right now, going back and forth to school is almost similar to a 9 to 5 job in that you have to get up, you got to be there on time, you got to do your work, and then you get out of there at a certain time, and then you got to come home and then do regular life. So I think it's good practice in dealing with balancing going to school and dealing with those struggles. So that's just amazing to hear that your focus is more on the goal and respecting the process of getting there. So let's hear from you, Hamza. So what about you?
So personally, doing school, the thing that was really easy for me was that being able to be at my house doing my schoolwork and everything. Since we're doing online school, it's kind of easy, but at the same time, I normally I miss my friends and stuff. But the thing that mostly keeps me going is that I have my teachers don't really give me hard work, but what we have decided to do was that one week we don't do business or business orders, while the other week, so basically every other week we do orders, just so that we're not, just to keep us up and tight, so just that we're not slacking off during school. So, and then also, it's on my sister, I wanna go to a good college, because personally I want to do real estate. So I have to keep myself up just so that I can be able to go to a good college.
That's wonderful. Yes. And I see both of you are in the mindset of going to college, which is great because even though you do have your own business, it's always good to be educated because there's so much to learn out here. And you even have to learn when it comes to running businesses and how things work. So that's amazing. So let's go to you, Elias. Tell us a moment where you struggled and you had to find that, moment where you had to push through and even though you were ready to throw in the towel, talk about that because it's a real thing that we all go through where we get to that point where you what, I can't do this anymore. Tell us about that moment for you.
So basically there was times where homework, doing it from home during the pandemic, it gets harder and harder because if you miss even 1 or 2 assignments, you could literally just fall behind and miss so many. So I will miss some nights of going through my emails and going on my Instagram posting so that I can just stay up on school so that I can also get into a college. I really do want to go to college. I've seen the college experience and it seems really blissful.
Yeah, that's really nice. So I guess I want to talk a little bit about some of your accomplishments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a short clip before we start talking about your individual accomplishments. And so I'm going to start with you, Elias, and we're going to share a little bit about some of the work that you do and seeing you in action. Future Leaders Vending. So that is beautiful. So that just showed you in action. You were looking like you were taking some of your orders and taking them. So tell us a little bit about your workday when it comes to your business with vending.
A little bit about my workday is with vending, I can go to each location, refill it, make sure everybody at the location likes everything that's in the machine. If they have any suggestions, we can bring it back, put it in, and just making sure everything works, double checking, maybe even triple checking.
Nice. So that's amazing. So you are doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. And I think vending is great because so many people are getting into very similar businesses, but that's a different business to get into where you can be very successful and there's always demand for it. So that's good. So let's go to you, Hamza and Sanyah. We're going to just talk a little bit about your business and show you guys in action. Wow, that was so amazing. You guys are going at it. I love it. And I love that you guys are a team, a brother and sister team, because a lot of siblings are too busy fussing and fighting with each other. But you guys have come together in business and you're making it work. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know how much I love cake. I told y'all hate cake. I'm sitting here with this little fake piece of cake here. After seeing that, made me want some real cake, some homemade Hamza cake. So I'm getting that out of here. I want me some homemade Hamza cake. So that looks amazing. So tell me what a day looks like in preparing for your orders with your spicy and your sweet business. So start with you, Sanyah.
So the night before, I usually like to prep my meat, and then the day that I'm supposed to deliver and get my orders picked up, that's when I'll go and cook everything and put it all together and deep fry it and package it.
Nice. And what about you, Hamza? What does it look like when you have to prepare for work?
So I do the same as her. Like the night before, I like to get out all of my ingredients to make sure like everything's clean. And then the day like after that night, that's when I'll start to do my orders. Like I'll start baking cakes like around like 8 a.m. because it takes like an hour to 2 hours just to fully bake. So yeah.
That's nice. That's wonderful. So the one thing I didn't really get to talk to you guys about is what about your social life? I know that it's been a struggle with pandemic going on and COVID, but what do you guys get to do for fun? Because I know a lot of people will think about like say the Jackson 5, and there's been so many stories about how they didn't have a childhood because they were so busy working and so busy doing tours and things like that. So how do you guys balance being able to get into just fun, and what do you like to do for fun? So we'll start with you, Elias. What do you like to do for fun, and how do you fit that into your day?
To fit that into my day, not in my week, but in my weekend, because that's whenever I get the most time to just relax and just focus on myself. So I have a thing called self-care Saturday or Sunday, whenever I can do it. Just like take care of myself, maybe do my hair, maybe even get it braided or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to play games. I like to play basketball, and I just like to have fun. Go out whenever I can. Make sure I always have 2 masks with me because it is still a pandemic. So
yeah. Yeah, that's good. I like the self-care Saturdays and Sundays. So, and it's good that you're starting that young. I can tell you right now, I am terrible with that. I have to get so much better. I might be able to call you to get some pointers and tips on that and how to put that on my calendar because I don't do that well. I'm so busy running and doing all these things. I definitely got to get better with self-care myself. That's just a little side note. But yeah, so that's great to hear that you do get a chance to get out. And so do you like video games or do you like board games?
Video games.
Video games. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's great. So let's see what you guys like, Hamza and Sanyah. We'll start with you, Hamza. What do you like to do for fun and how do you fit it in your schedule?
So First off, I like playing soccer. So every Saturday at like 11:30 to 1 o'clock, I'll do soccer, and then I also like playing video games. And then, but one of my funnest things I like to do is just personally, like, I'll just ask my mom, can we make a pound cake? And then, like, normally once you take it out the oven, you flip it over so that it can get on, like, to, like, whatever you're shipping it to someone with. But normally I'll ask her to like take the pot up early just so like the pound cake is up in the pieces because like hot pound cake is pretty good. But I also like just making random types of cake and trying new types of cake. And then eventually if it comes out well the first try I'll end up posting it.
That's good. So it sounds like baking is fun for you. That's something you like to do for fun. So do you ever bake your own self a cake and eat it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's wonderful. It's good to hear. What about you, Sanyah?
Well, I'm actually a dancer at Elevate Dance Studio. I really love dance. I've been doing it since I was younger. And so I try to balance it with cooking. So the days that I cook, I'll make sure it's like a day that I don't have anything to do and dance or any other activities. And that's how I make sure, everything is going smooth with everything that I do.
That is wonderful. So I'm glad to see that you guys are able to find that balance between running your business, doing school, having fun, and just interacting with your family. I think that's amazing. So you guys are doing a great job. I would like for you guys to give some words of wisdom to other kids who are interested in writing a book or who might be wanting to start a business in your industry. So let me hear from Elias. Tell us some words of wisdom that you would give to a kid who's interested in writing a book or getting into the vending machine business.
Some words of wisdom is always do what you're afraid of and just put your mind to whatever you can and want. You will get very far from that.
Beautiful. Short and sweet and simple. So let's go to you, Sanyah.
If you know you want to do something, go for it. Don't be scared of the outcome or what other people may think, and just try to be the best at what you want to do.
Beautiful. Hamza?
So personally, like it's never too late and it's never too early to start. And also like tackle the things, like Elias said, don't be afraid to do new things, like tackle things that you're scared to do because it's like never too late to start anything.
Beautiful. I love it. Now, the last thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do is if someone is interested in contacting you to support your business, how can they contact you? What is your contact information? We'll start with you, Elias. What's your contact information?
So my contact information is, my email is eliascangecompany@gmail.com. And my Instagram is FL_vending.
Perfect. Sanyah and Hamza?
So our Facebook is Shannon Cleaver, and our Instagram is _brown eyes, and our phone number is 215-651-2857.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for joining the show today. You guys did an amazing job. I'm super excited about all of the endeavors that you guys are doing. I 100% support you, and I just appreciate that you guys are starting a new trend of business ownership, of being entrepreneurs and taking it a level up than just trying to go to school for a job. So I am super excited. So as we're getting ready to close, again, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate you. So we are going to get ready to close out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys watching our show, The Queens Lair. Please stay tuned for our next episode. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to add a part 2 to this particular series because I think that it's important that we hear from our children and we see that the kids in Philadelphia are not just out here involved in all of the violence, but we have some really good stock out there and we have children who are making a difference. And we want to make sure we recognize and highlight them. So make sure you stay tuned for our next episode, and also make sure you check out our YouTube page, because our YouTube page, you can find all of the other episodes that you had that we haven't seen yet. So make sure you check it out and follow up on. You can see all of the information from all of the guests as well. So take care, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Queens Lair. Stay tuned for the next episode.